After seeing the thunderous response that Lalu Yadav received both from the treasury and the opposition benches when he went all guns blazing at Team Anna, now the people of India are concerned about what fate awaits the Lokpal bill when it comes up for discussion in Parliament. Joining us now is Member of Parliament from the BJP, Varun Gandhi, who tried to pilot the Jan Lokpal bill, that's Anna's version of the Lokpal, as a private member's bill. Lalu Yadav led the charge on the behalf of the MPs, cheered on by all MPs, and his allegation was that you've got a bunch of people outside Parliament trying to dictate terms to Parliament. Is that the way you see it as well, Varun?
You know, I think the word that he used was, he said that the laws of the country cannot be made on the streets. And I think that that's a very bizarre way to look at democracy, considering that Mr. Yadav himself displayed his talent on those very streets and then became the leader that he is today. I think that when a government or when a ruling class, a political class, starts to become very condescending and say that laws cannot include the opinion of the people on the so-called streets. I mean, we got our freedom from those very streets. All mass agitations, whether all over the world today, whether it's Tahrir Square or whether it's Tunisia, whether it's Occupy Wall Street in America, these are all street demonstrations. But the point is that I think there are two other things that Lalu said that are very dangerous. One is he pitted the entire polity against the nation's citizenry. I think that is very, very dangerous when that happens, because not only will that be hugely injurious for all politicians in times to come, but another point which he made, which is he said, what is the credibility of Anna Hazare and Team Anna? You know, even today, somebody like Nelson Mandela has much more moral power and thus power than the current president of South Africa. When he says something, it has, repercussions. Anna Hazare today, in my mind, has brought hope to this country, which has been hopeless for a long, long time, vis-a-vis its political class and politicians. The second thing is that at the end of the day, what I really feel is that when people say that we've been elected as MPs and thus we are going to be the ruling class and decide what laws be made. Look, all that we have achieved is in 2009, we have won an election, okay? Some of us by less than 40% majority, right? Some of us with 25% of the total votes. And all that has happened is that you are assuming that because you've won this one first past the post system, for the next 5 years, the public should be your slave, keep quiet, and 5 years later, just go and press another button.
Because Lalu says that Team Anna are confirmed dictators and their actions seek to put a lock on Parliament.
Look, what I am saying is, look at the frustrations which this group of civil society activists have had to deal with. First, they were dismissed by the government as being non-entities. Then they were treated as enemies and jailed and treated very badly. Okay, then some of their demands were agreed to, which then the government turned turtle on, right? They went back on their word. And then after all this, you've had sections of the media and government machinery, right? Going on and on, picking at each one of them inaccurately, saying that they're thieves, they're corrupt, they're funded by the Americans, which yesterday you saw Beni Verma saying that it is coming out next week in a newspaper, I don't want to take the name, which I find very suspicious, that the Americans are paying 20 crores to Arvind Kejriwal every year. I have never met Arvind Kejriwal, okay? I don't know any of these people individually. I'm not their friend or their man in the political class or anything, but I just feel that all young people and right-thinking people are focused on one thing, and that one thing is ridding India of corruption. They're not worried about the allegations and counter-allegations. They're not worried about this manufactured kind of diatribe of the political class versus the citizenry. They're just focused on when will India create a system that will rid the country of corruption.